Record. Just do it to me. Oh, come on.
From Erie Zone Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
Well, this is Councilman Kaz Kwiatkowski, and I'm here. We had a phone call. It looks like it went off. If you want to call back, we'll be on the air. Well, we're on the air now, so give us a call back. We'll put you on first. Rules are simple. Any topic at all you want to talk about is fair game. Just keeping it in bounds of good taste, and try not to get personal, but not with me, but with anybody involved. And, no, you're okay. You're late.
Yeah, things I had to do.
I think it's to fire you, you know that? Anyway, our friend Ronnie Stemka's here today, and DJ's under the weather again.
Again?
Yeah, he's not feeling well.
Maybe I go see a doctor.
We wish him well. He'll be back, though. And I'm working on a couple of surprise guests that'll be coming up in the near future. Going to confirm a couple of those, and when they are, we'll announce them.
Can we get any of these state legislators up here? That's what
I have talked to them, and so far, I haven't got any, luck yet. But
Want me to start talking?
yeah, you can ask them. If the forum's open to anybody. Anybody wants to come on the show, I have no problem. And I've extended a welcome to various, legislative people, members of council. Anybody wants to come on there, it's welcome.
Now, like I said, we're going back to that gas tax. What happened to all the money?
I got to ask you a question off the air because it's going to be embarrassing, but you'll laugh.
Oh,
It's from your dusty past.
all right, that's the past.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz, a long time, huh?
Hey, where you been?
I've been around.
I know you're just, well, you kind of, winter we kind of get lost.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm surprised all these people on the 500 mark is 23rd.
Yeah.
One house put out 12 maps says it looks like they're showing the street up already.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find out about. Driving around town, I was surprised the number of people that jump-started the process. And
Did that start this week or next
Oh,
week?
the 12th.
Yeah, 12th was it? I think I had it marked here.
To
Yeah.
May the 7th.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a lot of people jump-started it, and our guys are in a bad position, and they're cleaning it up, I think. But it kind of, we got to be consistent because, you got people that are playing by the rules and others that are not.
They can overrun the budget on this.
Well, it could happen, yeah. I mean, we purposely, put so much in there knowing it's going to be, the cost involved and the not only the manpower, but, we got to pay our tipping fees when we take the stuff out there.
Yeah, didn't you have to pay for the gas?
Oh, yeah.
Fuel for the trucks.
Well, yeah, everything's figured in there. I mean, on your budget.
What's the average budget for that for 1 year?
I forgot to. When are you going to remind me to bring the book?
I'm asking you questions. I'm throwing them at you.
I got to go get the book.
You're the Einstein in the program.
See if they got a book in it.
Last year was 250,000.
You got the book in front of you?
$250,000?
You're talking about, for the, for the program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ronnie was asking the overall question about how much for everything, But, yeah, we got, by the time you figure the tipping fees, the fuel, the manpower,
And these poor guys are working hard.
Yeah, but it'd be nice if we could do this all year,
Yeah, but we can't do it all year. There ain't no money anymore.
No, but,
You're paying for garbage. How much he charge you for garbage?
the problem, Lloyd, is you're starting to see, as you drive around town, you're starting to see the results of that, you got, a lot of the fields get, here's the thing, a lot of these fields get filled up with, tires and everything else, or...
Oh, in our alleyway already.
Yeah, there you go. See, and then the couches end up being in...
Couch in our alleyway already.
Yep.
TV.
What is that alleyway? That's at where...
I mean, 23rd and 24th. 24th, Astor Reed.
Okay, it's same one again.
Yeah, now they're a big TV and a couch.
See, that's a problem. When you don't have pickups, and I'm not saying it wouldn't happen if we did have pickups, but when you don't have pickups like, all year round, that's what you get into. You get into, temporary people moving into apartments. We have a lot of rentals. If they don't have a place to put them, or they,
What do they charge you a quarter for garbage? $50 a quarter?
I think it's 55, isn't it?
55. They just raised it again. That's another
Yeah, but
backdoor
water,
tax.
Sewer is $92 now.
For you, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's a little different on that one.
Yeah, there's only two of us in the house.
How much have you been tracking your cubic feet?
No.
Okay, what you should do, I learned this lesson. My bill was a little high, and I was watching it, and I said, it's only my wife and I. Why am I getting $100 and some?
That's crazy.
Well, I went down the basement, and I looked at the meter, and I turned off all the water, and the meter was still running. So that tells you there's a leak. So I went around, this was post-winter, so I checked the sill cocks outside, turned them off in the house, tried to, play around them. Found one leak outside,
Just enough.
Yeah, just a little drip.
Little
and then
drip.
the big one, though, was the toilet, Lloyd. Okay?
Yeah.
And they will tell you this at the water department. In fact, if they're real nice. If you go down there and you think you got a leak, they'll give you the dye packets.
Oh, they will?
Yeah, they'll give you like little sample packs, and you throw them in your tank, and if you see the color come through, then your toilet's running. But that's one of the biggest nuisances. If you think you're high, Lloyd, do you know where your meter is?
Yes.
Go down in the basement, take a look at it, and there's a little arrow that flips. Okay? Not
like a
the
little
big
clock.
gauge, but it's like a little
Clock.
a little clock, real small, real tiny, and you'll see it's like a triangle that flips. And if it's turning and you got all your water shut off, then you got a problem somewhere.
Bad.
Okay?
It takes more than a drop to make those things turn.
Yeah. Are you listening, Lloyd?
I'm listening.
Yeah, because if you think you're high, you can call them and they will give you a rundown of the last few months. And
Yeah, but Lord, what was your last your water bill before you got this combination bill?
$72.
Just for the water or both of them?
Water and sewer.
You mean it went up 100? They went up 100%?
oh, he's saying 72 to 92, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
20.
but-
That's not 100%.
Yeah, but the garbage went up too.
Yeah, but you got to look at them. See,
It's a backdoor tax. Am I right?
you pay for it no matter how you look at life. Okay, you're going to pay for it one way or the other.
Yeah, but we
Okay,
can try
if
and...
you want on the front side with the real estate taxes, okay, they went away from that years ago. They decided way back when Joyce was in office that refuse was going to be separated. It's a separate fund. Okay, so the general fund does not put money into there. It's funded simply, you pay the $55, all right? That fee goes in, that's the revenue source for that. But, yeah, Lloyd, I would keep an eye on that meter, and if you can, get down in your basement, take a look at that little arrow.
Yeah, well, we just put our new toilets in the house.
That should be okay then.
How's that garbage collection going? Yeah.
We actually got a report. I was glad you asked. We got a report. Jessica is that's her liaison, and she talked to. What we're finding out is remember, this is a moving target. This figure about past due, because you got people. We're concerned with the old list. The list that was like 2-point-something million that was sitting there. Because going forward, you're going to add names to that list. You're going to have people that don't pay their current bill, so they're added on. So it's hard to, when you look at that figure, you're going to say, gee, it doesn't look like it went down much. But she reported that they have noticed that a large percentage now of the people that were not paying their bill are set up on a plan. The plan is basically, they try to set it up unless you're really way over the top, they try to have a plan that 1 year or less to get you paid off. And I believe there's one, they allow you one, what they call mulligan. And after one mulligan, which means you didn't pay, then you're subject to shut-off. And they do expect this spring to start some shut-offs. So, I mean, we did learn that we are making progress. We are starting to get payment plans. Some money is coming in. The figure is going down slowly. But at least, you know, we're at the point now where we've addressed the problem, and it won't grow at the alarming rate it did before.
We hope.
Well, you know, at least now you got the mechanism in place, though, to
You know what?
to stop it.
One of my relatives told me where they live in their town, if you don't pay your water and sewer and that, you go right to the credit bureau
Where's that in?
in New York.
Oh, really? That's possible, yeah. We, well, because the Water Authority does ours, you know, they take care of the collection. Now, they can turn you over. And I'm not sure what their procedure is because if you don't pay, you know, they can take you.
To your JP.
Yep. But generally, if you know, once people know their water's going to get shut off, it's a little hard to live in that house without water.
Oh, it's just on my bill. I use 84 cubic feet.
84. I'm going to check that compared to what I use, just to see what, you know. That sounds a little high, doesn't it?
Yeah?
That should, yeah, that water and sewer should be, the combination should be no more than $75.
Okay, here what they do. They put on a meter reading charge.
Well, yeah, that's 17.
Yeah, that's $17.50 or
There are
something like
$8
that.
on there too.
What's the $8 for?
Oh no.
Wait a minute, there's a fee for sewer, there's a fee.
17 for doing the books.
There should only be two fees, 17 and 17, I think. That's
No,
what,
they split it up, remember? And you got the
Yeah.
water. Now,
but I
the
thought it was
17
17.
goes, yeah, but
On mine, I
17
think
goes.
it's 17, 17.
It's seven, no, if you see it, it's only once. The bill you get, next time you get the bill, it's gonna be 17.
No, I mean, water has their own bill,
Yeah.
and sewer and garbage have their own bill.
For garbage have a $17
Yeah.
and $8 on it.
So you got $8, they charge you half.
I have to see that bill. You know, I have to come over and take a look at it. But if you're using 84, that sounds a little high.
What's the basic amount to use before you can go over the amount?
What do you mean, cubic feet?
Cubic feet, before you extra charge?
I don't know, it's got to be pretty high. I know people that got like swim pools, they have to put a higher, they pay more because they got a bigger pipe.
I know somebody, one of our neighbors said every 3 months his water bill is $300.
Why?
They have 8 kids in the house.
Well, no wonder.
Okay.
Them faucets don't
See,
shut off.
I mean, you subtract the fees out, don't look at that, but look at your cubic feet and what, that's the, your fees are going to stay the same no matter if you use zero water, you're still going to pay that fee. But if you want to know if you're using too much water, that cubic feet,
That's just
to me, it seems a little high, but for two people.
They should enough water basic on that water bill not to even pay an increase for
Does
two
anybody
people.
turn on the water outside your house, Lloyd, or?
That's shut off permanent.
Okay, I would, go downstairs, give me a call sometime, tell me if that little, turn your water off, make sure everything's off. Make sure your water heater's not running, replenishing itself.
Yeah, I do laundry only on Saturday.
Yeah, go down there sometime, make sure everything that you know of is shut off. The water heater may run at times, replenishing. But if you don't hear just keep an eye on it. If that arrow keeps moving.
Maybe the outside,
Yeah, you got a problem somewhere then.
Yep, broken line somewhere.
And believe me, I didn't think it meant that much, but just that little bit of that toilet leaking in that one outside valve, that was costing me $20-30 a month. So that can really nail you, Lloyd.
Yeah, another thing people have to know. My payday don't fall on, the days when the bills come in.
Yeah.
I was 5 days late. They sent me a notice saying, you're late on your bill.
Have you tried to talk to them about maybe, helping you out a little bit, say, changing your billing date or something?
Just have a direct deposit. Take direct deposit. Take
I'd give him a call, Lloyd, and talk to him, see if he can work something out. Tell him your predicament, okay?
Yeah, I'm not rich anymore.
No, call him and tell me what, get back to me if you want. I'll take you down there myself and we'll talk to
I'll
him.
call him today, later on. I'm cleaning the house right now.
Yeah, and if you want me to come down with you, I'll come down with you, but, yeah, go down that basement, do check that arrow, because I think you're using too much somewhere.
Yeah. I have 2 hot water tanks. Maybe I'd take one out, don't you think?
Well, if you got 2 water, why you got 2 hot water heaters?
That's why the damn house was set up one time.
Ooh, maybe that's what's taking your water too, huh?
I would think so.
You use them both at the same time, or?
Nope.
Why do you shut one of them down? Just shut the gas off and shut the water to it.
Yeah.
What, does it go from one to the other?
One to go upstairs and one to go down.
Oh, you had an apartment at one time.
Yeah, and they made it all into one house.
Well, I would shut the one upstairs down.
Are you billed separately for each one?
No.
It's all one bill?
No.
Okay, yeah, check that arrow out and tell me what you find out.
Yeah, I will. I'll let you know next week.
Or call me at home sometime if you want.
No. You ain't never home anyway.
Oh, yes, I am. Now I am. I wasn't, it wasn't for a couple months, but I'm here now.
Hey, did you hear who ran for judge?
Who?
Our friend Buzz.
Oh, there you go.
He threw his hat in the ring about it?
I heard you were going to run for judge.
No, I'm not. No, there are 8 people running for judge. 6 for JP.
Who's the JPs?
Council.
District Justice.
Yeah, but who?
And 10 for school board.
10.
Yeah.
That's a good field.
You gotta get rid of all the deadbeats in down. Sound City Council, County Council, that was a good meeting they had. Did you see that last one they had?
Hey, Lloyd, thanks for calling.
Okay, Ken.
Okay.
All right.
You see what Brennan did on the County Council?
Who?
Brennan on County Council. Taped the show, didn't tell them about it, and they were all yelling, "You're supposed to tell us first before you do anything." And Flo goes, "Wait a minute, it's public knowledge. You can do it." You should have seen the heads roll then. That was fun.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, anybody there?
Oop. So what happened at the county?
Brennan took a show of that, what was going on at the meeting, and the woman didn't like it, and the one that was on TV, he didn't like it, so you ain't supposed, you got to ask us first, or you could do it. And,
Ooh. Go ahead, caller.
Did Lloyd just say his water bill was $84?
No, he said he used 84 cubic feet.
84 cubic feet.
Yeah, how much?
He said his bill was $84.
No, he said 84 cubic feet, and his bill was 100 some, I think.
That's not bad for 3 months.
Well, what do you, John? It's you and your wife, right?
And my wife and my son.
What do you use cubic feet?
I don't look at the cubic feet, but I look at the bill, so it's staying around the same.
Well, you see, if you look at the bill, you're including the charges, okay?
Yeah.
I remember when I told Lloyd when I had the problem, and I was like up above 100 and some bucks. I started watching the cubic feet, but I went down in my basement, and the arrow kept moving. You know, the little arrow?
It shows an indication of water going through the meter.
Right, and I went around the house, and I thought I found one, but it's still, even after I fixed that one, I still had a leak. And, gradually, when I found the problem, which was the one toilet.
The overflows, it kept running and there's no shut off.
Yeah, and they give you a dye pack. They're real nice about it. You put a couple strips of dye in there.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you if you got a problem, And
you hear the drip, drip, drip.
yeah, and I actually cut my bill quite a bit, John. I think 80 sounds, for 2 people, a little high, but
Not really.
I don't know. I think I use less than that now.
I think it's a lot.
In 3 months.
Don't forget, we got a whole lake out there.
But my bill was like for 3 months too, John, and I was way up above 100 and some, and I thought,
They still owe me $77, and the sewer garbage owes me money. How's that?
the garbage owes you money.
Yeah,
Why?
because I pay it ahead, so I don't
Oh.
get any hellos.
So how's things up there in the Upper East Side?
Up in the Upper East Side. Let's get to the Upper East Side. But before I get to the Upper East,
Oh, I did hear about your, they are aware of your garbage problem. They're supposed to
there
be.
was out, and they must have contacted them because there was some out Saturday already. And I went by this morning, and it was picked up and put away somewhere.
Yeah, they did contact them, and that was thanks to your persistence, and
And Jill.
yeah, she's, I mentioned it to her too at the meeting. I says, we got a lot of these problems around town with the garbage. It's not just up there. It's
More problems like crazy with this spring pickup.
Yeah, they're starting early, these people.
Last year they had that,
It's all over. It's a shame. But let's get back to the Upper East Side. But before we get to the Upper East Side, to run for city council in a third-class city, you have to be a resident for 1 year. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And well, I understand there's a candidate who hasn't been a resident for 1 year, and I won't say her name, but I think that the election judge should look at it.
I heard that, I was made aware of that, and, if one of the candidates wants to challenge that,
Yeah, but well, he has to go to the courthouse and file.
Yeah, and, just bring it up, and it's happened before. Remember, it came up with,
OBJ.
well, yeah, with Barry Grossman too, remember?
Yeah.
And,
2 residents.
yeah, you have to be a year in there, and then,
Well, it has to be where you're paying your taxes on.
right, in our case, if you're running for, let's say, county council, you'd have to live in the, you're, like in our case, the 5th Ward,
Right.
now who takes care of the 5th Ward?
What do you mean?
It's county council.
For ours?
Yes.
That's Brenneman.
Brennan, okay.
Yeah, he took over Whitey Cleaver's.
Yeah, like I said, that guy needed a pat on the back.
But, yeah, John,
I just wanted to find out as a third-class city if there's people out there who are bending the law a little bit, they should be dealt with.
yeah, there's an age requirement and a residency requirement.
Right, I thought so. But recently, that main water leak down in front of the CYS parking area, Tops area?
Yeah.
Now, I go over that quite often, and I'll tell you what, whoever did that contracting job of repatching after they had the road cut, they ought to come back in and do it right.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that up because that.
Doesn't the city engineers come up and pass that job when it's completed? I mean, like the repaving of it.
I'm not sure what a patch job, but either way, like whether it's a state or us, somebody really fell down because when if you look at it, there's all kinds of scrape marks on that first one.
Yeah.
The one where come from my house, you look at it and you go, if you were not, well, you shouldn't be speeding, but if you're traveling a normal rate,
Hit that bump, boom.
yeah, if you hit that bottom, you're going to bottom out there pretty good.
But they came back in and they repaved that. But the way they repaved it wouldn't. I could get a bunch of kids out of technical school and give them the equipment, and I think they could make it a lot smoother than what that was. I'm
going to get the number of.
That's the water department. I don't know who's doing their work, but they have up around here. They're having. I think it's AWS contractors that do piping. Now they're slaughtering Page Street up from down below 38th Street to about 41st Street. I'm just waiting to see how they come in and take care of that when they're done.
Is that water up there too, John?
No, it's gas.
Oh, gas. I couldn't tell from down to bottom there. I thought it was.
No, it's gas. They're digging on both sides of the road, and they're piecemealing pipe in.
I'm going to talk to Bill Pettit about, the state highway.
Yeah.
Because I want to get the final answer about, who's responsible. Like, if you got utility leaks, obviously it's the utilities,
Companies should do it and put it back as best as they can, and not like a rumble strip. Remember how East Avenue used to be with the experiment?
Yep.
Well, this is like that too. I mean, they put it down there trying, but they just wasted their money because they got to come in and scrape it all out and do it again.
I tell you, there's a good size hole on East Avenue.
There's a bunch of them going across there.
Yeah, I mean, East Avenue's got a bad one about halfway down to.
I hear a garden club is getting together, and when the weather gets nice,
You gonna plant flowers?
they're going to go out and put mulch in there, and we're going to have pothole plants.
Either that or the Army's going to use it for, what do you call it, urban warfare training?
I suppose, but
I came over East 38. There's one in front of the,
gas station.
no, not even that one. Well, I missed that one, John. There's one over by Value Home Center that,
Yeah, there's a dandy.
yeah, if you fall in there, I mean, they may have to set a rappelling crew down to get you.
What happened to the pothole hotline?
It's there, but,
No one's
Oh,
calling.
people are getting disgusted.
yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing, and I tell people this. If you don't complain,
It's right.
not only that, if there's any chance that, any chance at all people always ask me the question, who pays for things? Well, you can't hold any municipality.
No.
The way I was taught, and maybe I'm no lawyer now, but you can't come after a municipality for like acts of God and all that.
No.
But you can for like negligence. So
but like they say, the squeaking wheel gets the grease.
well, yeah, but if you put it on the report, at least.
Well, if you call up the men down at the streets department and you talk to them in a civil tongue,
Yeah.
and they'll put you down, they are the best.
Right, and if you document all that, so if something happens, like, say, God forbid you really blow a tire or something like that, and it's been, because, every city and every municipality, state and all that, they have to fix things in a reasonable time. Now, what a reasonable time is always subject to debate.
Well, that is like you see on the newspaper saying the struts are getting beat up, they're getting whacked out of line. There must be other problems. It takes a bunch to knock a vehicle out of line.
And if you watch a lot of people, I watch people flying over 38th Street.
There's the reason.
Yeah, you got to be nuts to fly. After winter, when you got potholes, if you really like your car, your vehicle, you should take it a little easy.
And you're out at Waldemere.
Yeah.
Play that old game they used to call Dodge 'em.
There you go.
And you got to drive under reasonable speed, and you got to be thinking there.
Hey, you know what I never figured out, John?
What's that?
Was it dodge him or was it him?
No, it was Dodge 'em.
Hey, that's not the way we like to play it, though.
You had to hit him, and then you couldn't get away unless you backed out.
Now they take you off, they remove you if you start bumping people.
Well, now they have the bumpers a little bit better, and they don't give you as much juice as they used to through the...
Yeah, it used to be fun to pin somebody and just drive them up against the wall.
That's true.
Semka's laughing.
But anyways, as far as garbage and everything else, being a backdoor tax, you're going to get it whatever. But if you want to specifically have a tax, it should be a line item, or that specifically, just like the street should be, a line item, nothing for street repair.
Mm-hmm. Well, John, I'm glad you brought that up. I said it in the meeting at the work session, and I was hoping, if Kevin would put in the paper or something, but he didn't, and basically I asked that question in the back. I said, I'm not in the back, but during our caucus, and I said, it doesn't really matter how you pay for it. It comes out of the same pair of pants, right, John?
True.
Whether we defer it over a period of time, or we confront the problem and, raise taxes, like you say, I have no problem. Everybody's afraid a lot of times in politics. Look, I think the public realizes that, one way or the other, we got a problem, we're going to have to pay for it. And, whether you float a bond issue or you do this or that.
How much a percentage do you pay on a bond? Like they said, 10
But
million.
I'm agreeing with you, Ronnie. I'm saying, it looks attractive to not, you float a bond and so it doesn't hit you hard. You're looking spread out over a period of time, okay?
Right.
That's misuse of bonds.
But and I say, what's the difference if you just confront it? You look out there every day today. It doesn't take a genius to figure out.
The difference with that is you have it allocated every year. You know what you're getting.
That's what I'm saying, John. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, hey, you look, John, last 5 years, even 10 years, look out there.
That's right.
And even go before 10 years. We have just...
At the street school.
Roads have not been really addressed in a number of years. Outside of, normal maintenance, right?
That's true, and the roads...
And I was told that it takes $3.5 million, presently to keep us at a, what do you call it, balance point?
Yes.
That's making no progress. That's like, taking care of old stuff and kind of, addressing the needs.
Yeah, but the mayor had 5 years, 6 years to, try and keep it up, but he wasn't doing anything.
But a lot of people have. We haven't addressed it. We've always...
Yeah, you addressed it.
They should be repaired the right way the first time.
Well, it's
just like West 8th Street. Remember, they put that new synthetic stuff or whatever it was called, and put it.
They used to get stuff from GAF too. They tried that.
Yeah, it's a scary thought because I'm not an engineer, but I realize that if they were to repair the roads the way they should be, new bases and everything. It's going to be expensive.
Right. You know, we almost had a normal winter. Most of our winters are always this critical, regardless. It was a little cold for a little longer. Years ago, we didn't have above freezing for almost 60 days.
But I drove up and down, my street ain't bad yet, John, but, when we had that reclaimed road up where we live, right? Those roads are starting to show age a little bit.
Well, it's because they don't put them down thick enough. There's not a good base.
No, they did what they could with the time, and, thank you, but, looking forward, look at the curbs. Some of the curbs they're sunk. We haven't milled the roads right.
Now look at the curbs.
We're not draining water right. So I'm saying, what is wrong with saying, coming out and saying, look, I think we get $3 million out of every mill we raise. So let's say, I'm not throwing any numbers out there, but whether it be a mill and a half, 2 mills every year, and put that money in a separate account, okay, just for street repair. Would you agree, John?
How many years have people been talking like this?
Would you agree, John?
Yes.
Okay.
How many years people have been talking like this?
Years.
Yeah, but nothing's been done.
Well,
That's the problem.
I'm not afraid to cast a vote. I mean, everybody's worried about, what's going to happen, is there a career?
Profits involved.
Hey, you know what? We look out there, we got an aging city, and we got to start doing some stuff.
That's true. You know how much it costs to build the interstate?
Back then?
When they started, from Ohio to New York?
Well, you know what? What the heck?
Back in the 50s.
How many miles was it?
I don't know how many miles it was. What, 25 or somewhere in there?
I'm going to guess, I'll probably be way off. I'm judging it by what somebody told me in a town one time. 40 to 50 million?
$1 million.
What?
Back in 1950s. The late.
Yeah, but how much were you making an hour back in
Yeah,
1950?
$1 million, yeah.
But it costs $1 million a mile to repair it. I'll get off and let somebody go. I'll talk to you off the air, Kaz.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. See you later.
There was a road in St. Mary's called Miracle, $1 million highway. It was about a mile or something. That's what I was saying. I'm figuring $1 million a mile, or something, even back then. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Okay.
Good. Hey, a question about the people complaining about garbage, water, and sewer fees being a backdoor tax.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't all the non-profits and the charities, don't they have to pay water, sewer, and garbage?
That's a good question.
I think they do now. It used to be a time when, I believe, like the school district had free water. I think those days are gone.
Okay, because you can call it a backdoor tax, but I'm pretty sure that was made to help the taxpayers, because when all that was included in your property taxes, all those nonprofits weren't paying property taxes, so they weren't paying for water, sewer, and garbage. So now they do. So that's
Oh, yeah. I never thought, you're right. I never thought of that part.
if I remember right, that's how that originally became a fee instead of included in your property taxes,
And
was
you're-
to get the nonprofits to.
And you're right, because that would explain,
Yeah.
if schools weren't paying taxes, like the museum and all those places weren't paying water technically.
Yeah.
So you're passing that on to the taxpayers.
Yeah, so we would be, taxpayers would be on the hook even more for the nonprofits if we didn't have those fees.
That's why we got smart callers.
We got good
But
people.
not only that, when you think about that loophole, but that's a big one. It's huge.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good chunk of change even when you figure 40% of the property don't pay property taxes.
And then we're up against the wall. We couldn't, if you remember, was it back when Joyce was there or before?
I can't remember who came up with the garbage and water and sewer fees, but
we were up against the wall. We couldn't raise taxes, remember? Because
so that's when we came out with the fee.
yeah, and it's its own account now. I tell people, it's out of the general budget, so.
Yeah, it's supposed to be revenue neutral. You're not supposed to make more money than what it costs to haul away the garbage, or it's not supposed to make more money than what it costs to give you water and sewer service.
Yeah.
So, but then I always hear borrowing money from the sewer. What is it? I don't know what they call it, but
It's a transfer, and for years,
so if they're making more than what it costs to run it, how are we borrowing
I didn't think they could not make money,
Oh, okay.
because I think,
I always thought fees were supposed to be revenue neutral.
well, it is with that rental program,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure about, they're allowed to make a surplus, you know.
yeah,
Because a lot of times, we were told that for, there are requirements like when we have a bond issue out, or sometimes when the government gives us money, they want us to maintain a reserve fee.
yeah.
And, you know, so that if anything happens, you know, I'd have to get the exact specifics. I remember they tell council about this every once in a while, that we're required by law to keep mandatory reserves, like, you know, when you're floating bonds. But what they traditionally have done, if you remember way back, and they did it with golf, they did it with water, and they did it with sewer, they always had what they called a transfer. And that's, when you look at the budget, that money is budgeted in there as revenue.
Yeah.
So they look forward to, just like, you know, we get, by selling the water department, when we did that, you know, leasing it out, they get so much money a year, and that, you know, that they plan on, you know, transferring some of
They
that.
get the $2 million to buy Mill Creek water supply.
That's not us, that was the Water Authority.
Okay, well, like
Yeah.
I said, I just wanted to make a statement about them fees. A lot of people complain about that being a
Yeah.
backdoor tax, which it kind of is, but it benefits the property owners that do pay property tax.
Well, it's kind of like, you know, you're right about that, and it's kind of like what we did with the garbage, you know, so if you don't want to pay, now we kind of, you know, found a way to make it so that if you don't pay, we turn your water off, you know.
Yep.
And, you know, I didn't think of that, but, you know, our callers will always come up with a good, that's
That was a good one, that was a good one.
yeah, I'm going to check. I don't think there's anybody right now that gets free water, though.
Okay.
Because I know, I can tell you this, at the Korean War Memorial, you know, the ones that are on Glenwood there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we pay for that water.
You do?
Yeah. We get a bill for water and, you know, all that, so.
Yeah, I saw an article in the paper the other day. It's outrageous for them companies that have fire sprinkler service, charging them $6,000, $7,000 a year just to have a hookup fee for a sprinkler system.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, I don't understand. I think it's like a demand fee because, you know, they have to be subject to, you know, and I think they have to have bigger lines and everything.
Oh yeah, they have to have larger lines, but that don't make no sense to me to charge somebody $6,000 a year that don't use water. You know, why don't you charge them afterwards?
Yeah, well, it's an authority, and they can, you know.
Authority can do anything they want.
And they dump 10,000, 100,000 gallons of water, then bill them for it. You know, don't bill them just in case it might happen. And that never did make no sense to me that they charge you more money for the bigger the line, service line entering your home.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know it. If they got pools, you know, they have lines that are.
Oh yeah, I know.
And if you take the pool out, you better think long and hard. Maybe you want to get that line dug up, you know.
Yeah, but then the cost of having that dug up and changed back.
Probably not worth it.
A friend of mine had a pool put in 30 years ago, in ground. So he was paying, well, you got to pay a 25% increase in water, on your property tax because of the in-ground pool. So he had to take it out last year. You know what they told him now?
What?
It doesn't matter. It does. I'd been down and knocking someone's head off right there about then.
It only increases your taxes. It don't decrease them.
Oh, that's how it works.
It's like that Johnstown flood tax, right?
Yeah, that's never been taken off the books. Yeah. Oh well, yeah, I just wanted to bring up that though, like I said about
It was good night. That was a great
That was a
comment.
good one.
So, all right, you guys. Hey, how was your Easter? Did you have a good time?
Not too bad. Kids came up from out of town. Well, 1/3 of my kids.
Yeah. I ate too much candy. My blood sugar was 300 this morning.
Uh-oh.
If you're like me, I'm not allowed to have it no more. My doctor would kill me.
I'm not allowed to have it either, but when you got a bunch of nieces and nephews running around saying, "Here, try this Easter bunny,"
That must be the thing when you get old, get sugar, right?
It's my fault. I can't blame nobody but myself.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? I didn't like it when I was a kid as much.
Yeah.
Now that I can have it, you know.
Yeah, now that you can't have it, you crave it, yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
I'd give anything for one of those, especially a white chocolate bunny. Oh.
I'm in a
Weakness
dark
is Reese's.
chocolate. I love the chocolate.
My wife likes the
Take care.
Okay.
My wife likes the dark chocolate. Me, I was the white chocolate guy.
Oh. Yeah, so we
Neither
talking
one's
about
good,
here?
though.
Yeah, with this water, you guys, when are you going to vote on that bond issue?
That was a very intelligent call,
Yeah,
wasn't
that
it?
was very good.
Yeah, it should be up shortly. They gave us,
I'd
some-
still say, how many years, what's the plan to pay that off?
we're looking at, $10, $11 million, probably about
Yes,
8 to
but
10 years.
8 to 10 years. Okay, you only have, like I said before, you have 10 million in the fund right now. If you would just take 5 out of that,
What are you talking about?
surplus we have to pay that.
Why do you keep touching that surplus?
I'm hitting that surplus because we just got an 8% increase in taxes.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Anybody there?
I'm curious, and I was wondering perhaps you could shed some light on this. How often do people from the Water Authority, together with the people from the Sewer Department, the Streets Department, to discuss long-term planning on renovating the various sections of the city? Do they have a regular meeting scheduled, or do they even talk to each other?
Well, I think they talk to each other. I couldn't tell you if they have I could ask Doug Mitchell. He's the Public Works Director. You mean talking about like plans to change piping and stuff?
Well, it seems to me that if you're going to fix the streets,
Right.
then at some point they're going to have to talk about tearing them out, completely redoing them. It seems to me that if you're going to do that, that would be a perfect opportunity to replace the water lines and the sewer lines that we've been told are well past their useful life expectancy.
Okay, I get you. I don't think anything we're doing right, to my knowledge, from what I understand, what they told us, I don't think they're talking about anything like tearing up, the concrete and everything underneath there, the base. We're talking about like milling roads and...
Yeah, well,
Yeah, what he's talking about is, and I agree with him,
Yeah, take the
if you're
piping
going to dig the whole road out, let's say, and, redo it, yes, that's the time you want to do that. I agree with you there.
they did that on Davison from 38 down, and they left about 4 foot wide, and they put all new pipe, and whoever did the paving did a lousy job. It's the worst, one of the worst streets in the city is Davison, from 38 down.
I'll tell you that, I will talk to Doug Mitchell.
Who takes care of that? Was that the water department takes care of that? The roads takes care of that? The city takes care of that paving?
I've seen in the past, gentlemen, where a street gets milled or there's an issue or whatnot, and then a month later, National Fuel is there digging it up because they've got an issue.
Yeah, supposedly there's a one-call system that, they're supposed to, whenever they do something, the way I understand, I'm not real well-versed in it, but the little bit I've talked to people about one call, when they call in, that they're supposed to notify like all the utilities to come in and, look where their pipes are.
It's supposed to be water,
And,
sewer,
and that's the time when you think, and I'm not sure if they're under any mandate to inspect their pipes, but they're involved as far as locating their pipes and everything. I'm going to talk to Doug Mitchell about that, how they, because I remember I remember when I was a kid, they paved Peach Street. They tore it up. It was back in the 60s or 70s.
Before
Tore
my
up the
time.
whole street.
My time.
And what happened? They looked beautiful, like this gentleman said. It wasn't 2 weeks later they come in and they're digging it up for gas problems. And you're going,
It seems to me that the mayor should be holding regular executive meetings and having these people come in and sit down and have a battle plan to tackle these issues, because you're talking about some serious money.
Yeah, I think they do that. If we're talking about like actually tearing up a road, I would say yes. But I think pretty much what we're planning now is it's maintenance. They're going to go in there and mill it, and
Yeah, Band-Aids.
But he's talking the way they should do it.
Oh yeah, if we do it that way. Yeah, if we go in
more
there.
expensive, but in the long run, be well worth it.
Yeah, if you go in there like they were doing parts of I-90, where they actually dug down, tore out the base, redid it. Yes, I would agree with you there, sir.
Well, it just seems to me, obviously, you have to do what you can afford now. But it seems to me that this city probably has never sat down with a long-term objective of the last time I remember hearing about this was when they lined the water pipes, and that's been about 20 years or more.
At least 20 years.
And I don't hear anyone in any position of authority talking about getting together and making a plan, out in the future maybe we can only afford to do one road every 5 or 6 years because of the maintenance that we have to maintain. But I don't hear anybody even thinking about that at all, and it's a little embarrassing. These executives are supposed to be smarter than the people that hire them, and I don't see it. These people don't. They go to work, they close the door, and that's the end of it. I saw a guy from the sewer department on television a couple of nights ago. He sounded like an idiot.
Well, my plan, I said to people, I'd like to, I don't like raising taxes, but I think, there's going to come a time when we're going to have to address the problem.
Well, somebody needs to get an accountant with the manufacturers, put them in a room, and figure out what it's going to cost to do this right, so we can start planning.
Well, it won't be cheap. I know that.
It's going to be outrageous.
I think we need is money. We need money.
Well, that may be a big, huge capital project, and
yes,
part of the problem. Not blaming other people. Part of the problem is now, we're on the federal and state level. We don't have the support we did, where that's going to be a project like, the nation's going to have to undertake, and the state, the infrastructure in this country is under assault.
Yeah, but like I said, they get money from the federal government.
Right.
Oh, we need money. Well, let's get this done over and put new lights on State Street.
We have to get out of the, we're in a war economy right now, and we need to get back to, we need almost like a public works program where we had under Roosevelt. You know what I'm saying, sir?
I do, but I would just like to see regular updates of these individuals getting together and discussing what needs to be done. That would go a long way of building my confidence, but apparently they don't like to talk to each other in meetings and be on the hook for anything.
Yeah, like I said, you always look back and follow the paper trail. Who's getting the money? That's
I
what it
will
comes back to.
ask Mr. Mitchell, how that's set up, whether they do meet, and also about the coordination between the utilities and us.
All right, well, you guys have a good day. Enjoy the weather.
Yeah, and thank you for your call. Your comments are well noted, and I sense that people in the community, they know it's not going to be easy, but I think they're not against fixing the roads and paying for it as long as we have a plan,
Well, if you don't start, you can't finish, right?
Right.
Take care.
Thank you.
Now, you were talking about that money coming in from the sewer department.
Yeah.
Mill Creek, and now you said it's going to take time for that money to come in, trickle into the Erie. That $5 million you said you were talking about last week?
Go ahead, caller.
I was listening to that last woman talking about the plans for the roads and the utilities. They have plans for all that, but you can plan for that, but you cannot plan if an emergency arises.
No, but I think what was said was...
Get them all together when they do it.
Yeah, I mean, we it is amazing how you watch, they'll pave a road, and outside of an emergency, and I agree with you, John, you work for a utility.
You have to cut it.
But sometimes it seems like...
It always seems to go that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I remember, this is back in the 60s.
I worked for the steam department. I worked for the steam department back in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And they just did a road, and it wasn't 2 days later, we had wasps jumping up and down like crazy because we had to cut the road.
Yeah.
And we were there prior to that, and we inspected everything, and it looked good. You cannot plan an emergency. You don't want to go in there and cut, but you have to do it to repair it.
I know, it just seems like...
It always is.
Yeah, but, I think also the comment was, and I don't disagree, we need to maybe have a long-range plan about, where, well, I think, and this is into the water department,
the water department...
I believe they are, I've been to a couple of their meetings, they are aware of where their problems are, and the sewer department, I think, is aware of theirs too.
Way back when, but
but whether they have coordination, that I can't tell you,
cannot go in and piecemeal. You have to go in and repair the whole line to a whole junction. You just can't go in and patch it and sleeve it and collar it and figure it's going to be fine.
No, this won't be cheap, though,
No, because a few feet down the way here, a couple of weeks later, it blows up again.
See, I didn't mean that we have to depend on government money, but
No.
when you look at the overall, well, look at the United States. We're spending billions in a war economy right now, and
But there's no budget for the war.
yeah, but it's still coming out.
It's still coming out of the coffers, but you have a president down there screams he wants this, he wants that, and wants that. But Congress won't they're backing off now.
But look at our cities, John. On a state, anywhere. Take any state you want. Look at Pennsylvania, especially.
Well, any state in the north, it's crazy.
I mean, we're going to have huge what you call infrastructure. Capital projects, we're going to have to look at that someday.
They got all the money, them some money here.
We can raise the registration, we can do all that, and it's still not going to do the job.
Well, no, but we're falling behind, though. That's the scary part.
That's because the federal government's taking their money to the wrong place.
The problem is it's easy to, you look at and I'm not picking on any, you look at a project like a new arena, a new hotel, a new bridge, that's all out there in the open, everybody can see it. But nobody gets excited about sewage pipes or water,
Till it happens.
Yeah, and it's buried under the ground, hidden out of sight. And yet, if we don't address those problems and our housing, problem now in these communities, the cities are going to be really, not just the cities, but especially them because they're older, we're going to be in a hell of a bind.
We're there now, I think.
Boy, yeah, we're
there now.
Have a great day.
Thanks, John. Maybe I misunderstood you. Say that again now.
What?
$5 million.
That's $5 million. You got $10 million in paupers, right? In the hole, right?
Okay, now I think go ahead, caller.
Then you got money coming in from the sewer department. I mean, the refuge department.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Kaz. What is the date for that electronics pickup?
You know what?
It'd be on a Saturday, wouldn't it? That's what they had last time.
Can you see if they got it? Can you go in the back there? I'm going to send Ronnie back to see if they can find out.
Saturday.
This is my question.
Yeah.
If it is so, you only get 1 day for that.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's so important, why do they just give you 1 day to do that? I know when I went last year, there was a long line. It would be like 2 hours where you're waiting in line to drop it off. I mean, myself, I just throw it in the garbage if that's the way it is. I'm not going to waste 2 hours waiting in line.
Well, I agree with you. I'm going to try to get hold of Sarah. She's our recycling person.
Yeah?
See if I can call her here and find out.
Okay.
I don't know why they do one date. I'm trying to think if that's done with the county too, and I'm not sure. Is that all through the county or just us locally?
I don't know, but I know I went there last year and the line was, I think I would have had to wait about 2 hours.
Yeah, it wasn't good, I know that.
And I'm thinking to myself, if it's that important to recycle, then we should have a much easier way to do that. Otherwise, I just throw it in the garbage.
Yeah, I missed it out too because I had about 2 or 3 TVs that were really, bad, old shape, and some old keyboards and stuff.
Well, are you going to wait in line like that?
Probably not. Usually I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
I usually try to find a place to donate it. Some people use it for parts.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll get an answer for that?
Yeah, I'm going to try to get it. If he doesn't find out now, I'm going to try to call Sarah. If not, I'll meet with her and I'll report it next week.
Okay.
The electronic pickup.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, no problem.
Bye.
Yeah, let's see if we can. Yes, sir. This is Kaz, the councilman. Can you get back to me on what the date is of the electronic pickup for citizens of Erie? And drop me a line, tell me why it's only 1 day. There were some calls on, wondering why we don't expand it a little bit. Thank you. Well, we'll see, we can, 5 minutes. Oop. There we go. Go ahead, caller.
Electronics drop-off day is May 2nd, the first Saturday.
Is that what you got? Ronnie's here, too. Yep, May 2nd, you're right, sir.
Okay, and it's also tire drop-off day.
Oh, same thing, no wonder why there's a long line.
Yeah, there'll be a whole bunch of people again.
From 9 to 1 at the garage, the municipal garage at 1926 Holland.
Yeah,
Correct?
it should be more than one day.
Yeah, I don't know why why it is. Maybe it's the volume that we get. I don't know, but
But up to Best Buy, if you have electronics, you can take them up there and they take them.
do they charge you? Or?
No, they have carts right in the front. And if you got some electronics you want to get rid of, just put them in the cart and they take them.
Yeah, you can. If you're, to the listeners, if you miss that day, you can try Best Buy, as Ronnie said. I didn't know whether they charge you or not, but
No,
they don't. But thank you, sir. Thank you for calling.
Welcome.
May 2nd.
Okay, now let's get back to that $10 million bond.
Okay, you're wondering why we don't take 5 out.
Let's take 5 out because,
That's not a good idea.
how much money is that going to save?
You don't. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, last year I remember somebody discussing that taking 1 week out of our big item pickup and have that as an electronic entire pickup. Why, instead of waiting in line up at the city garage, wondering if whatever happened with that. Did anybody ever discuss it?
Not to my knowledge, but I'll bring it up at the next.
Yeah, 'cause, it's too late now. I have to wait again until next year, but...
I even talked about, I remember in the past, I asked them why we couldn't adjust that because, college kids get out at a certain time of year.
And leave all that junk.
And that would, if we coordinate with when the schools let out, that would take care of that problem too,
Yeah, that would get a lot more of that. But yeah, like I said, whatever that large item pickup is there, it's 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I can't remember. Just take 1 week to have just the electronic item pickup, or 1 week to have just tire pickup.
Yep, that way you wouldn't have to come down there.
Yeah, because I'm the same way as that other guy. I didn't wait in line. I had a bunch of electronic stuff to get rid of last year, but then I did learn about Best Buy up there. They'll take anything. They'll take giant tube TVs, the computer monitors, because they have a recycle program. They don't charge you, but they actually make a few bucks by selling it to the recyclers.
Yeah, and I really don't care, that's a good thing they do,
Yep. Oh yeah, because it started out as with Best Buy. It started out as if you bought something new, you were allowed to bring your old stuff in. Right. But then they realized how successful the program was, and they actually make money, because there's gold and silver and everything else that can be recycled out of those electronics, and so they actually recycling actually makes a profit on recycling electronics. So
that reminds me of remember Mark I. Finley?
Yeah.
He used to always he was a big proponent about making more money as a community by like source recycling, having a day for electronics or having a day for recycle the cans and everything separate.
Yep.
And actually make some money, It doesn't seem like much, but over the course of time, you think that somebody would do a study and say, well, here's how much it costs us to do it, but here's how much we make.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, and if you can make money out of why, a prime example is when the city of Erie got involved with collecting cans and recyclables, all of a sudden the rate for people going over there dropped, because now they got a huge quantity, but yeah, we should be making money at it, really.
Oh yeah. The only way that saves us money, we don't get money for the recyclables, but we're not taking it to the landfill, so we're saving on tipping fees by recycling.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff can be recycled. I remember I was talking with somebody about like computers, take your hard drive out, clear it up. But for a lot of these kids learning how to put stuff together, there's a market for it.
Yeah.
Or some of the parts you can use in different units.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly how they recycle, but I know there's gold, and there's silver, there's platinum, titanium, nickel. There's all kinds of metals in those. you start recycling thousands and millions of them, that adds up. So there's definitely profit in it, or they wouldn't be recycling.
No, we only have to go back to World War II.
Yeah.
You know, they were recycling everything.
That's one thing you got to realize about America. If there's no money in it, it ain't going to happen. People wouldn't be recycling if there wasn't money in it somewhere down the line.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, guys, take care.
Hey, thanks for calling. And we got 1 minute, so
You know what that's going to be on?
Huh?
Our debate.
Ongoing next week.
I won't be here next 2 weeks.
Why?
I'm going to go get some warmth. I'm going to
Where
get
are
away
you
from this
going?
cold. Tampa, Orlando, see my daughter.
You'll be prime when you come back.
Oh, I'll be
Yeah,
really
the issue
fine.
will still be there.
I know it will be. But you guys are going to be voting on it, ain't you, pretty soon?
Pretty soon, yeah. It hasn't come up for first reading yet or anything.
Well, we better, because 10 million is a lot of money, and I feel, now when we get back to this, the money we're supposed to get from the county, from the sewer department, now, how you say it's going to be trickling in on us, what, $5 million?
Money from the county.
Yeah, the money for the sewers that they owe us, and they're going to pay us back some of that money.
You mean the other communities?
Yes, the rest of the communities are going to pay us.
Well, they got to pay a portion of the cost.
Yeah, how much? They said roughly $5 million. Now, you get $5 million here, and even though you still got $5 million in the hole.
When you float a bond, remember this, you got to pay back the principal.
Right.
You got to pay back the interest and the fees.
Right.
So all that rate is prorated.
Right, so if you borrow
So
10...
they give you, in effect, what's going to happen, they give you, let's say, $11 million, right? It's going to cost you more than that, you know
It
that.
costs you $20 million.
Well,
By the time you get done with all your fees you're talking. So
It's like taking out a loan. It's
taking the loan out, but paying back double. So
Right.
it doesn't make sense to take $10 million.
But the money from the other communities is going back into that cost, okay?
Right.
But when you talk about...
Even $5 million, that's half of what, and you're paying all that money
When you
out.
talk about, though, going into the reserve, that's what got us into trouble before.
But yeah, when you raise the taxes 8%.
Our reserve it's not like our reserve is
bustling,
growing every year, okay?
I know.
You know, we use that reserve to pay off the beginning of the year. You know,
Different things,
If
right?
you remember, we have not taken a loan, you know, in many, many, many years
Yeah,
now.
but the Whoop Road, okay, you get $10 million. 5 years from now, we'll be in the same predicament. If we have bad weather, we're going to be back in the same predicament we are
You're
right
talking
now.
about the road. I don't like floating bond issues. No, I don't. Not for roads. Okay?
Not for roads.
But-
Like I said, you got
But the
10
alternative
million.
is to raise taxes, and
Wait, what's were these councilmen? Them were the ones that got all the money. They took it out of our back pockets, registration and fees and gas and everything. Why aren't some of these guys up here? You don't hear not a one
you mean
open
you're
their
talking
mouth.
about the state guys.
The state guys, and not a one saying nothing. Where's all the billions of dollars? 12 years ago, they were saying, hey, we're going to have more money than we'll ever need. We raised the registration, we raised the gas taxes. That was 12 years ago. And now we're back again. They raised it again. They doubled, and they charge you 40 cents a tax again.
Go take a ride out east.
Oh, yeah, it's all in out in Philadelphia, Harrisburg. You see the roads down there. Lock Haven,
I always have an
especially.
argument with somebody about, you got the roads around Penn State. They're there for 9 football games or, 9 or 10 days a year.
That rolled to nowhere, right?
Yeah, but
in front,
it's
6 lanes.
it's used during the football games and when the
That's
kids
it.
go back and forth to school, right? Or you got the famous metro station, subway station in
Well, what do
Pittsburgh.
we got
that goes to the north side for the football games, right?
How about this
You know what I'm talking
this
about?
parking place over the Lords? How much did that cost to put that in?
Let's not go there.
Now, see that? Now I'm hitting the wrong...
No,
See,
you're
that's-
okay. Because I agree with you, okay?
That was how much did we spend for that? little piece
We're
of
the
property?
only one that has a parking ride inside the community, rather than outside.
Then who got all this 90 million for this bus company? That was another joke. How many people you see going by? I can count maybe 2 or 3 on a bus the whole day going by here.
You better calm down. You're gonna.
But I'm telling it like it is.
I
You
know.
know, people know that. People out there, they know what's going on, but no one's everybody's afraid to say something. Open your mouth. That's what we got to do is get this thing straightened out. We can't just go from debt to debt to debt, and your kids and your grandkids are going to be paying all this stuff. Just like that bond issue, 1975, right? Now you guys are messing with it 1975 to now, right?
You're talking about refinancing?
Yeah, refinance. How many years? 45 years later.
It's a good market right now.
It's a good market, my butt.
We have to get off the air, though.
Taxpayer, he's paying it.
You're always going to pay.
Always comes out of the pants.
It's the same pair of pants.
Yep.
And with that, I want to thank you, and when do we see you again? A couple
2
weeks?
Yeah,
Okay. Where are you going, Florida?
yeah.
Don't get in any trouble.
Oh, I know a lot of people.
They'll ship you off somewhere else.
Oh. Hey, I was up at Ecom. Last Thursday, they called me. Hey, Ron, come up and see if dental. I was going to see if I get implants put in.
Yeah.
So I went up there. The only guy in the parking lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access Channel.